All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, and I'm definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with me this evening as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So, as always, make sure we turn off any and all distractions, lock it in and focus, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. Drop me a one in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, and you are all set and ready to go for what is this June 1st, Thursday evening. All right, I see everything coming in. We are ready to get this thing jumping. So, let me see here, double check a couple things. Good. All right, so let me click out of here. We'll go straight over to the Forex factory calendar. And we know that earlier today, so we discussed it a little bit this morning during the pre-New York session, we had the CPI data come through for the Eurozone, and it is cooling a bit. But we also had ECB President Lagarde speak. So just to review that, hey, the fight continues against inflation. So we're starting to see those lagging effects from the rate hikes that the European Central Bank has pushed forward so far. But you can see, even though we're starting to see things starting to cool, ECB still feels like they're behind, right? So we still have ground to cover. Okay. Lagarde said also inflation is too high and it's set to remain so for too long. ECB's Lagarde here on the live squawk. We need to continue our hiking cycle until we are sufficiently confident that inflation is on track to return to our target in a timely manner. I don't know what's going on. This me and Forex Factory. I don't think everybody's having that problem. I think it's just me. So let me load it back up again. We also today we had ADP non-farm payroll, non-farm employment change, unemployment claims came through. We see that the ADP numbers beat forecast, came in at 278 on 173 unemployment claims, right at 232, right on the forecast at 236. And then we had ISM manufacturing showing contraction. So if we go over to, it's a good article today in Trading Economics that kind of summarizes everything that's happening with the DXY today. So it says that the dollar index fell below 103.9 on Thursday, which we were looking at the DXY just last night, this morning, right? Seeing it kind of tailing off on 103.9 on Thursday, the lowest in nearly a week, as fresh data and comments from some Fed officials raised bets that the central bank will pause the tightening cycle when it meets in about 2 weeks. Okay. Unit labor costs rose less than expected in Q1, and the slump in productivity was revised lower, while the ISM PMI showed the manufacturing sector contracted for a 7th month. On the other hand, initial job loss claims and the ADP report beat forecast. It'd be interesting to see this non-farm payroll tomorrow, everybody, see if it falls in line. Also, Fed Governor Philip Jefferson and Philadelphia Fed Patrick Harker suggest the central bank would skip a rate hike in the next meeting. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives approved the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023 by a vote of 314 to 117 on Wednesday evening. The bill is now headed to the Senate and is expected to be approved before the June 5th default deadline. So a lot of moving parts when it comes to the US dollar. So now you're starting to see bets sway to a pause on rate hikes come June. But think about it, everybody. We just saw that the ECB and what President Lagarde said, say we've got a long way to go. So when you look at the DXY, there we go. So, all right. So when we look at the DXY, taking a bit of a downturn here. Whenever my charts decide to work, I got a little internet issue. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right, I think we're good. So we got a little downturn in the DXY. We come here and we take a look at this daily chart. You can see where we've turned back over, right? We've gotten bearish, okay? We've gotten bearish coming out of the close, right, of yesterday. Now we're in a new Asian session. So you can see where we're turning over a bit on the dollar just to hit a non-farm payroll. Here on the one, you can see it really good. Okay, we were looking at this last night as well, and you can see where it just continued to move down. Okay, new AB boundary. We've moved deep into the zone now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see it move sideways, leading in a non-farm payroll tomorrow. But you could possibly be looking at a little bit of that good monetary policy divergence between the ECB and the US dollar. So if we come and we take a look at the Euro USD, and we know that we saw it come into TP2 recently. It's a beautiful move to the downside, and we said, hey, we're going to draw this trend line. And as long as it stays below, that euro's going to sell off. But now you can see that we've got a clean trend line, right? Approaching the market the same way each and every time. Explosive move to the upside as a result of the dollar news today and the Fed speak. And you can see, right, it's a beautiful move out of that zone, okay? So you can make money on the way down and on the way up in the Forex market. So we came in around this 61.8 zone and we got a trend line break to the upside. Now to be interesting to see what's going to happen tomorrow, okay? So beautiful move. And now typically when you get an explosive move like that, you look to see if you can get a correction, okay? Look to see if you can get a correction. So that's where we are on this euro dollar. Right now, we got a trend line break. Nice move to the upside. If you took the buy off those levels, getting long, then you're in profit right now. The rest of us who might not have taken that, right? It's a beautiful opportunity if we can get a pullback and a continuation on the euro dollar. So let's see what's going to happen leading into tomorrow with the non-farm payroll for the United States. It's going to be a pretty important report, but we love the volatility because it gives us opportunities to catch pips, right? So that's where we are. So this is a beautiful, beautiful swing, right? 80-20 zone, able to make over 400 pips out of that, down to the TP2. We know overall we're long euro, and now we got Fed speak, and bets are starting to swing to the side of a pause during the meetings that are coming up for the Fed. So if that's the case, right, we can have that divergence and we look for this euro dollar to potentially continue to move up. So that's the idea for at least right now. Any questions on the euro dollar?
No.
No.
All right. It's amazing how these waves play out. We were going back and forth during the sessions on the Aussie dollar. We know that it was hanging around that 80-20 zone on a one especially, and it hadn't hit that D extension yet. And as a result, what do you know, right? When you play the zone, it broke trend line and we pushed up right to that 382. It is amazing how this market works. Sometimes you just need some gas in the tank to get things going, and fundamentals can help you with that. So we got that reversal. All right, this was a bit of a mess, but we didn't hit that D extension and we got that trend line breaking that move long. So you can see here on the 15-minute chart where we are. All right, there's that trend line break. It's probably most likely going to get that D extension. Things are lining up for the dollar. It's going to be interesting. It could go either way, right? We've seen non-farm payrolls fall right in line with the ADP numbers. ADP numbers beat forecast. Then we've seen the exact opposite at times. So kind of leaving it out there. We're going to wait to see what happens, see what the numbers look like, then we'll make our plays. Okay. So that's that. If the numbers come out weak for the dollar, you'll see this continue to push up, but eventually it'll hit that D extension, get a new AB boundary and a pullback, and then we look probably to get long on it if we see continued dollar weakness to the downside. So that's the Aussie dollar. Any questions on that? Right? Sometimes it looks like there's absolutely no way, That's the 4 hour. But then price makes a way, right? And the strategy continues, right? It's a nice swing. So out of that zone, yep, you had some drawdown, but 90 pips or so to the 382. I'm still fascinated by it after all these years. NZD USD, that's one that we posted recently. Some of them we post way back and they just take forever to play out. That's just how the swing trades work. So you had to kind of scroll back through the Discord at some of the setups and then move forward to see how they went. But this is the NZD USD play that we posted, and we can see that we're up right now. So potentially we look for a correction and a continued move up, right? And a continued up. So, but like I say, huge fundamental report coming out tomorrow. We'll see which way it swings. Here's the 15-minute, right? So we've got this break of the trend line and an explosive move up. Now we want to see if the market will take some of it back and then continue long. All right, so that's the NZD USD. This is how these setups go. Right? This is what it looks like. So it's very, very important to continue, even if you're not trading live right now, to continue to get the visual reps and to hang in there. So you know what you're looking for every time you go to the market, right? I hope this is helping. So this is where, but if this one's going to continue long, it's got quite a ways, right? From where it's at now to that 382, 140. Okay, so even longer if we get a correction back to the downside before continuation. So we shall see what happens tomorrow. All right, see what happens tomorrow. So if you're in these pairs long, and you're up, think about, hey, do I want to move my stop to break even? Do I want to take a percentage? Do I want to move the break even or slightly in profit, take a percentage of my money off? Maybe I take 3/4 of my position off around non-farm payroll, or hey, I got my risks worked out. I'm at break even now. Either it's going to make me gains or I'm going to break even, however you want to play it. I just want to remind everybody to put some thought into that. If you're in these dollar crosses ahead of non-farm payroll tomorrow, these long swings. All right, so that's that on the NZD USD. The USD JPY is bouncing around a bit, but right, we came in on a 4 hour is a larger play. Okay, it's a larger play, but on that 1 hour, right, we tapped that 382 right at the wick right there. Boom. Now we've got a bit to see if it wants to pull back, but that finally made it down to that TP2. I mean that TP1. Yeah. So beautiful plays, right? So if you got in the zone, yep, you had some drawdown. We didn't tap that D extension. So it's down like almost 170 pips, depending on where you got. Right? But technically out of that 80-20 zone, over 100 pips to the downside. Right. So that's another 100 pipper. And so we're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Quick look at the pound Aussie play that we've been following. Right, we got some Aussie strength today, so I expect that to be corrected. Right, we're at a pretty high level, and yet we tailed off just a bit. Right, so beautiful continuation long. Right, and now we're corrected, just like we corrected here. Okay, and we continue. Now we're correcting again. Let's see if we can get the continuation on this, right, to finish out this move ultimately. Okay, can go either way tomorrow based on that data. Can go either way. But right now, if you look at this just from a structure standpoint, we're back at past resistance becoming future support on this level. Okay, so if it holds and we form the low, then we look for, right, a low to form, a trend line break, okay, and a continuation. If that level's gonna hold. So we will see how that plays out. Any questions on that pound Aussie? That's been a pretty steady mover. So we'll see what happens with that. What do we look for if it doesn't? You're talking about on this pair, JC? Yep. Look for it to continue down, right? It may correct a little deeper, right? Kind of hard to tell with a big report coming out tomorrow, right? So when you're up this big, right, you want to start moving your stop in the profit. You want to lock in some profit, or like I said, sometimes you want to move your stop and, depending on your trade plan, what you're comfortable with, and take some off the position potentially ahead of big reports. But we look for ultimately for it to hit that extension, because, and the reason why I say that is because, yeah, it may correct deeper, it may, right, before it finds another support. But when I'm looking at fundamentally what has changed when we look at the pound and we look at the Australian dollar situation, right? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Right. So, I'm still looking forward to get to this D extension, right? As we see it happen, it happens often, right? But will we get, a deeper correction? We could, but ultimately we want to see it hit that D extension. Right? We want to see that ABCD wave complete. So it's correcting now. It corrected. What was this move here just a few days ago, right? That corrected over 100 pips. And then it made a higher high for 300 pips. So now we've corrected 140 pips or so. Let's see if we can get it to move, right? At least back up to this monthly level. That's a monthly level there at 192.16. I'd like to see it test, give it a real test to that level and break through. All right. We're pretty far along now in this move. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's what we have on the subject running to the upside there. Let's see. Catch where the sub fibs are. Like that, right? So look at that. Right? We got a 382 though. There. So we may hold and continue. We'll see. But I'm letting it float, just my stops, right? Because if you get stopped out after you're up so much, if you get stopped out, you want to make sure you get stopped out in profit, right? So stop profit at this point. You want to lock it. You want to lock in some of your money. You want to secure the bag. Now, you don't want to move it too tight, right? Maybe you're moving it. Maybe you're using these sub fibs and you're putting it below this low, right? Or however you want to play it. Or, like I said, close out some of your position. Close out some of your position, because if it decides to hold and get back bullish, you can always add back to the trade. Does everybody follow me on that? Does everybody know what I mean when I'm saying that? I'll make sure I'm clear. Cool. Because this is a swing. It's a swing trade, right? And so we know as it makes higher highs and higher lows, it's going to gain some, it's going to take back some. It's going to gain some, it's going to take back some. So once you get up good in the trade, you come in and say, you know what, I'm going to close out half my position. Or right now at this point, right, when you start to get in that flow, man, I'm in this 127 zone. That's always a level to where no matter whether it's a shallow retracement or we have a deep retracement like in this situation, and then it took off on that C to D push, that's always a level where you might see some profit taking, right? It's getting pretty high. You just took out your B high here, right? Which is resistance. We know that, hey, it could break and come back to retest that. So you may say to yourself on these, I mean, if that goes to that D extension, it's over 700 pips, right? So you can say, you know what, I'm gonna take 75% of my position off, let it correct, and then I'll add back to that play because I'm still overall bullish. So that I can't make the decision for you, but it's my job to let you know what the options are. you know, when it comes to that, then you have to take it from there. So that's where we are right now on that pound Aussie. That's been a really good play. I want to take a look at this morning we did euros and Aussies. I want to take a look at these pound pairs. Pretty good tonight. This pound CAD, right? It's still bouncing around. Okay, so it's moving sideways on us now, but we're on the other side of that trend line. We did get that breakout above 168.65. So still overall bullish, right? We saw that CAD pop a bit, but still overall bullish when it comes to the pound, right? So I'm looking for that C to D push to continue, right? Are we always right? Absolutely not. Don't have to be, right? But that's the trade plan, right? You stick to it, right? So not calling an audible yet, right? Trading small, accumulating pips, okay? Let's see what happens. See if we can get a push long, okay? Right now, we're still making higher highs and higher lows, moving sideways, but we're on the other side of that trend line right now. So I'm looking to hold that trade on that pound CAD. Any questions on the pound CAD?
No.
All right. It becomes a very, very simple game plan. If I do my top-down analysis and I form a directional bias, technically and fundamentally, then it's a matter if I'm using the fibs, if that's what you choose to use, right? And the trades come into my zone, and in my trade plan, I do have trend trade scenarios like this one. Then when it comes into my zone, I'm going to go ahead and take that trade. I'm going to keep it as black and white as possible. Okay? It's in my zone, right? Some of us take buy limits in this zone. Okay, buy limits, trade small, stop below the A. Some of us in this zone, right? We want more confirmation. So maybe some of us put a cloud on, right? So we put the cloud on. Some of us may wait for a cloud break. Some of us may be using, you know, a 20 and a 200, a 50 and a 200, whatever it is, right? So here's the cloud, okay? Some of us may look for different moving average crossovers at this point, right? So maybe I'm using a 20 and a 2, okay? And I'm looking for a price to cross over and get back up above that 200 with a 20 cross. Maybe I'm using a 50 and a 200. All of these things and these confirmations and stuff that we see usually come right at the point of potential entry. Right? So once we get to these zones, it's up to you on what you need for confirmation for your own trade psychology. That's really what it's about, right? That's really what it's about. Because that additional confirmation, I mentioned this before, okay? If the trade is meant to go long in this zone, it's going to go long in this zone. Whether you've got a cloud on there, now you just saw a cloud, you just saw a 20 moving average with a 200. Now you're looking at a 50 with a 200. If that price is meant to swing in that zone, it's going to swing regardless of what you have plastered on this chart. You have a trend line on here, right? If it's meant to swing and go long on a C to D push, it's going to go long, right? You can put a stochastic, a MACD, Bollinger Bands, whatever you want to throw in your chart to light it up. That's all for your own trade psychology, right? It's all for your own trade psychology. Okay? So just a thought on that. Okay. Whatever you need to make you feel, hey, you got to check that box before you take that trade. Hey, I need a trend line break, higher high, higher low, and I want to run the sub fib from that point. Then do it. Then do it. But through it all, right? There are only certain zones that we trade. That's the very simple part about what we do. Once you're in this area, you can be as complex or as simple as you want to be. All right. That's up to you as a trader. Okay. Everybody got me on that? Drop me a 2 in the chat. It's very important. All right. Okay. Maybe you drop down. Once price comes into your zone and your sweet spot, maybe you drop down to the 15, maybe you drop down to the 5-minute and look for trend line breaks. Okay, that's your trade plan. Make sure you do it. All right, make sure you do it. Make sure you work on that. Okay, and trade plans evolve over time. Okay? The more comfortable you get as a trader. So that's the pound CAD. Let's take a look at the pound Swissy. Okay. So I've been sitting up here looking at this triangle type pattern for a while. We're finally getting it to move up, right? So we're breaking over this trend line from the weekly. We're starting to move bullish, but we still got that 114.34 level. Okay, just some things you just start to notice, right, as you trade. So we're trying to move bullish, right? We're trying to get through, moving long. It's been a good few days, right? To the long side. If I come down here to the 1 on this current fib that I have running just off of this low right here, off of that bounce. Okay, you can see that we've got an AB boundary. So if it wants to continue long, of course we prefer to see a drop into our buy zone, right? And then a continuation. All right. Nice continuation after that. That pound is going to stay bullish. But right now, there's no doubt, right? Looking at the higher time frames, that has been pushing long. We just need a low price. Okay. We just need a low price. So we can see it, right? The path is different, but it's still moving in a way. Right? The path is different, but it's still moving in a wave overall. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. Okay. That's that. So that's the pound Swiss. Any questions on that? So I prefer to see a low price, potentially get long. Right? Let it take its time. Awesome, JC. All right. So let's go take a look at this pound yen. All right, what are we doing? Everything's long against the yen. All right. So you can see, right? It's moving and it's gonna keep moving. It's going. Right? It's going. There we are. Long. Look at that. Okay. Doesn't matter the time frame, everybody. Okay. A, B, C, potential D. Okay. Potential D. Right, Joy. It's moving. And the reason why we do this, right? So if you notice, it's all about routine. It's all about habit. All of us as adults know that, right? That's what leads to your consistency, right? That's why every time we get on here, introduction, say the same exact, take the same approach to the market. Right? It's just habit forming. And the reason why we decided to do it is because we know, right? And me and Ryan had these discussions all the time. I know I definitely know that my mentor can show me this stuff over and over and over again in my early days. Took the whole program, did everything. And I was still out there on YouTube looking for other stuff. Still getting caught up in a lot of the other madness, right? Oh, I just saw this ad. Look at that indicator. Oh my goodness. If I could just have that indicator, or I could just have this or have that. And he would just constantly redirect me, get me back on track, constantly. I was straight, right? Straight to the right, straight to the left, look up, look down, looking for everything, right? But at the end of the day, just like you told me, it all comes back to this ABC. And I have to say he was right. That's just my experience, right? I can only speak for myself. But he was right. Okay. There's all different type of strategies that can get you in and out of trades in between all of this price action, because it's good price action, right? all different type of strategies, methods, indicators, all types of stuff. But at the end of the day, this is moving in an ABCD way. Take it for what it is. Interpret it how you want to interpret it. But at the end of the day, it's moving in a way. Right? Sometimes that we ride the wave, and they used to always tell us, you ride the wave until it fails. There's times where you're riding, boom, I done hit 3 fibs, 3 C to D pushes, knock these 80-20s out, and then you hit a streak where they fail. That's just trading. But we ride the wave until it fails. Okay. Ride the wave until it fails. Okay. So that's the daily. On the pound yen, here you can see larger wave, right? We drew this up ages ago, and we saw 236. But what did we say? Man, the one caveat is right now is that we got structure and we got a double bottom, that classic W pattern. That classic W pattern. All right. So we're like, you have to pay attention to that. And it's up against daily support. And it held, and it's been going ever since. But when you come down to the lower time frame, right? A few weeks ago, right? Breakout. Trade was already on the move. We drew it up. Look for the breakout. It's ranging. Look for the breakout and the retest. Okay. And it did that. That's what it did. But look at this. On your smaller wave, you double bottomed at that daily level in our zone. Right? So it all comes together. So look, double bottom, explosion, range, breakout. And what do you know? After all of that time, we're closing in on 654 pips. Okay. Hour trading small. Give yourself room. Okay. Give yourself a chance for all your hard work to pay off. Is not exciting. Over indexing, it's not necessarily about how many currencies. It's about your maximum exposure, right? And sometimes you want to look at that from a percentage. Okay. So you may say in your trade plan, like, I don't want to be exposed no more than overall 5%, 10%. That's how I would look at it if I'm swing trading, right? Currencies. So if I'm in a position and I've got 10 positions and each one of them are 1%, then my max exposure, if I lose all of those trades, I'm going to lose 10%. So you have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable with that. So that depends on your setups, right? You might have some setups where I'm in, oh, this is a huge one, right? And I'm dividing my risk by my stop loss. But I'm in at 1% on this one. Maybe I don't have such a large stop on another one. I'm in at a 0.5%, 1/4% on this one. So that can shift how many positions you actually have open. But the one thing that's constant is in my trade plan, I tell myself I don't want to be exposed no more than 10%. Meaning that if I lose, I have my trade set up all across the Forex diaspora, right? Got it spread out. I got my risk spread out like home insurance, right? Spread the risk out over all of the insurance policy holders, right? So I've got my risk spread out. But if I were to lose every single last trade, JC, if I were to lose, that's how it happens, right? Like so-and-so's house burned down. We got all these people paying every month. That's how we can pay for that $400,000 or $500,000 house burned down, right? Or even though they come up with 8 million excuses not to try to get you the money, right? That's how it's supposed to work. But anyway, this is when I've got it spread out. I just want to say, hey, no more than I don't want to be exposed to the market no more than 10% total. Right. So I would have to lose. I would have to be wrong. Think about that on all 10 of my setups to get bounced at that 10%. So think about how this works, everybody. If I'm set up, right? So that's a 654 pip. Right? What is that, 275? So that's that's less than a 3 to 1, a little less than 2.5, something like that. So, but if I'm constantly putting myself in those scenarios, right? This is where now my risk to reward comes into play as a swing trade. So I don't want to be exposed no more than max 10%. I'm in 2 to 1, 3 to 1, sometimes bigger than that. So now I already know, because of the way I'm putting myself in the risk to reward ratios using my fib, I don't even have to win all 10 trades to make money, right? We talk about that all the time. If I'm in the 3 to 1 consistently, then I have to, I can win 3 out of 10 trades, lose 7, and still make some money. Right? That's the beauty of just the math. Okay, nothing complex. So max exposure 10%. I'm in 10 trades at 1%. I'm gonna lose some, yeah, probably, but I don't have to win them all, because I'm taking my time and I'm patient, and I'm waiting for my sweet spots, because I know my sweet spots are gonna put me in the proper risk to reward ratio and give me the edge in that department. So now it's all about the strike rate, right? And how can I improve the strike rate from that point? Hey, I'm hitting 3 out of 10. I'm a newbie. I'm kind of ragged at this. How can I improve that and get that to 50%, 60%, 70%? Right? That's the goal, and improving from there. So that's a great question that you asked, right? I would say you're over indexed if you're over your max exposure based on your trade plan. Awesome question, right? Because we go through all the pairs and we see them setting up, but it's the power of trading small. Right? It's the power of trading small. Okay. And this is how you can catch 500, 600 pips, 1,000 pips, like, because you're looking at your small trades and you're like, think about it. If I'm trading at a dime and I'm up like $2, right? That's 20 pips there, 30 pips there, 40 pips. Before you know it, you're like 600, 700 pips. And the key is like, is it very exciting when your account, when you don't have a lot of money in the account and you're trying to grow? Nope, it's not, right? For some people, it's nothing to write home about. I got excited because when I first started doing it, because I thought like, well, man, I just made money from money. It was like magic. What? I didn't go to work. I made money from money. This is crazy, right? So it was exciting to me, but for some people, it's not. But if you get consistent, right? If you get consistent at that, and that account grows, we always use the example. Yeah, 50 pips is $5 now, right? The account grows, that same 50 pips becomes $50. Account grows, the same 50 pips becomes $500. Same methodology, same approach, same consistency, same habits, same 50 pips, but now it's increased in value. That's the beauty of this, right? That's why Bryce, it's very exciting, right? Kim, I see a great point. Thanks for the feedback. But think about that. Like that's why we always say, like Brian always says, give yourself some grace, like work to get consistent. When you hear people saying it took them 7 years, 5 years, 7 years, a lot of that is because of just the psychology. It was their mindset. They had to have a breakthrough, right? Trading will show you who you are real quick. And you actually have to become a better person and a better trader from a mental standpoint. That's what takes people the longest. Like you guys get this down. I've seen some of you. You get this down in no time, right? The technicals, even the fundamentals to put together with it. But it's that mindset, like, man, I didn't take that trade. Why didn't I take that trade? Man, I got out of that trade. Why did I get out of that trade? Man, I'm over leveraged. I know I'm supposed to use risk management. Why am I doing that? Right. But it's like a lot of things in life. We ask ourselves afterwards, like doing that. Right. So it's tough, right? They said I have a friend, he has $17 in his account left on Friday and traded all week small, and he's at 96, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. Right? That's a great profit. Awesome job, whoever that is. Right? Thanks for sharing that. It's crazy when you think about it. Like when you, when you think about all the money that you put in your savings account at the end of the year, you probably won't make $96 off of it. It's wild how it works. You better believe they will, but they're doing what you're doing right here. So, yep. So that's yeah, you can start that small depending on your broker. Like if they're giving you like 1 to 100 leverage, some folks like 1 to 500 leverage. The key is not to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. All right. And risk it all because you had a leverage. It's to stray small. I like using the leverage to compound small positions, right? To compound small positions. That's what that allows you to do. So he has Longhorn as a broker. That's great. So instead of me saying, oh, they gave me 1 to 500, I could take a standard out on this $100 account and in less than 10 pips, I'm gone. I look at it like, oh, that's going to allow me to, I'm going to trade at 10 cents. And once I move into profit, I could keep adding positions on this 654 pip trade because I have the leverage to do it. That's how we like to use the leverage, right? Is to compound the trade once we start to gain on the account, once the position goes in our favor. Leverage allows us to do that. Not because we want to, at the very genesis of this move, I want to drop the standard with $200, $100 in my account. That's not what we use leverage for, right? So that's why we always say it's the blessing and the curse of the Forex market. I appreciate you sharing that. Longhorn and broker. I've never heard of them. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. But yeah, you gotta know it. You gotta open your eyes up to some things, right? It's all out there for us. So this is the pound NZD, right? So this has just been right bananas. Look at that, right? That was a head and shoulders a long time ago that played out. Look at that. But look again, different pair looks all crazy. You find the low, use the fib, let the math work itself out. That is an ABCD move. Okay, it's an ABCD move, right? Boom. You could come in here and you could put, okay, a 200 simple moving average on that. Right? It's just confirming what you already know. Is it not? It's long. Right? You can put the 50 on top of there, right? This is just additional confirmation, everybody. It's no magic in the market. Look, that's long. Right? You put a cloud on there, it's going to confirm. It's long. It just depends on where you want to, what your entry style is, right? Look, there's a cloud break there. Oh, the cloud is beautiful on the daily and the 4. Look at that. Okay. With the fib, oh, it's monsters. Okay. But then even when you use, right, even when you use the additional confirmations like that, you'd be amazed, right? Some of us may not be, because I've gone through that. A lot of times you still, even with a fib, moving averages, Tinkinson, Keejinsons, Chico's fans, right? Lagging fans, they call it also. That you'll find yourself still not taking the trade. Right? And then you look back like, what is going on? It's mindset. Okay. That's right. That's why Mindset Mondays are very, very important. It's mindset. So that is the pound NZD, right? Off the daily is running, right? If it goes to that D extension, that's way up there at $2.12. All right. But it's moving. Right? Of course, we're gonna have some checkbacks. That's pretty impulsive. The market will take back something. Stochastic, we're way overbought. We're at 98%, almost 99%. So let's move on down to the charts. Okay, check this out. Here we are on the 4. And a lot of these pound pairs, look, did the same thing. We saw this before. Right? One was off the 236. This one pushed deeper, came into this daily zone, these daily support levels. Did the same thing. Look, we're up here. All right, we're up here now. Okay, look at this here. Look at this on the one. Yeah. Okay. So we all know what the scenario is and what we're looking for. Either we're going to correct and move down. Right. Gives us a low price, continue the long narrative, or can we push a little higher into this zone? If we see it stall out, form the highs and turn over, then we know we've got an 80-20 scenario. Okay? 80-20 scenario. This one got impulsive, right? Because of the pound, because of the New Zealand, what happened with the monetary policy, what was said. But look, it didn't get to 382. But you better believe, right? If you were in this position, it would have been a good idea to be stop profiting, or some of your money should be off the table, because it moved 500 pips before it made the U-turn. Right? So we didn't get the target, right? Which would have been a colossal target, but it moved 500 pips out of the zone. So if you get caught at the 500 pips with a monster U-turn like this, that's okay, because you should get stopped out of profit at that point. And I'm not holding my original stop loss after I'm down 500 pips. So something to think about, right? That's just trade management. Okay. And there's been times where I've gotten caught, right? Wasn't focused on my trade management, or just away doing something else. And right, you get either stopped out or break even, and you lose it all, right? So we want to do our best not to let that happen to ourselves. Okay. So just a few nuggets there, but look how that accelerated to the D. But look, it starts over no matter what the price action looks like, it starts over. We got a shallow retracement, a shot to the D extension that gives us a new AP boundary. Okay. That's that. So that's the pound NZD. That's where we are. See what happens. See if it gets impacted by non-farm payroll numbers tomorrow. Okay. All right. So pound dollar. All right. This one's a bit all over the place because of what's going on. All right. So you look at it. Moving up this week, we've been bullish. So a slight correction, then a bullish move. Right. Those moves can be challenging. But you can see here again, right? See how we came into this level? Now, that's not our ideal buy zone, but look at what's going on, right? We've got a double bottom in the zone with a daily and a weekly support level, right? We want to pay attention. Right? If we notice that, we want to pay attention and see if we get a reaction. Okay? And then you come here and it's just doing a dance right now. Okay? It's pulled back. So here we are on the 4. Okay? We don't have a 382 yet. Tomorrow's going to be very, 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 very important. Okay, I take this off now. Okay. Payroll numbers come out really, really good, right? Much higher than expected. Okay. You can see this take the U-turn and take the dip on dollar string, and then vice versa. Right? If it doesn't come through and it misses, right? Huge miss, you probably see that price action shoot straight to the D extension. Okay. If it comes in, hold on, you might continue to get right this range, right? This range, this level get respected. Maybe it pushed down and it stays in the range for a bit. Pound dollar can do that from time to time. Okay. So that's what we want to look for tomorrow. See what happens there. Right. So it's gonna be interesting because I can't call it. This one I have no idea about tomorrow. So that's that on the pound dollar. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. My bad to everybody that joined us. I didn't give you control of your microphone. My apologies. So want to take a look at, we looked at the NZD dollar earlier. Want to take a look at the CAD. We'll close out with these New Zealand pairs, and then we'll look forward to tomorrow and see what happens with the non-farm payroll. So here we are overall with this NZD CAD. And we're starting to stall out. We're in this support zone, right? So you can see the momentum slowing a little bit. Our stochastic is in the buy zone, but you can see it's just been a steady downward move. So we know that we should be making those down ABCDs. So we look at this situation here in this scenario and an NZD CAD like that. And here we go. Matter of fact, I think this was the one we posted last night. It was this NZD CAD play. Right, double check that. What got sent into the let me see. NZD CAD posted last night. So this one is here. So this is the trade idea. Okay. We notice from the higher time frame, we're coming into that support level. That's right in the 80-20 zone. Right in the 80-20 zone. We'll see if we can get this U-turn. See if we get it to pull back. Okay. That'll be nice. So that's that on NZD CAD. It's slowly making its way down into that zone. We'll see if we get the reversal. Right. We saw the NZD USD pop today. Here it is on the 1. Okay. It's pushed down, and you can see how it's just hesitating, right? So we can move down for this one because we didn't get the correction on this one here. Just continue straight down, right? So it becomes easy, right? You just adjust it to the next wave. Okay. So we'll see. That's a 118 on the 4. If it pushes down to that support, that's a D extension on your 1, right? Look at the 4. All right. Here, see that level? 8106. And then you got a D extension there at that same level. Okay. So the focus is on the 4. D extension, new AB boundary, potential reversal off the B boundary here. It represents the 80-20 on the hour way. Okay. So to sum it all up, we hopefully look to get a reaction off this level. So continue to keep an eye on that one. Interesting to see how that goes tomorrow. Let's look at this NZD Swissy. Okay. And here we are on the 1. All right. See, it's trying to swing. Okay. It's trying to swing to the upside. So we're getting a reaction. Consolidating, right? Accumulating. And we want to see if we can continue to get long on that, on the NZD Swiss. Okay. 382 is what is that? About 85 pips away. Okay. Not a large mover, but the setup is the same. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get that to move eventually to that 382. Okay. So if that's 85 pips there, we know that's over 100 pips to TP2. Any questions on the NZD Swiss? No. All right. And NZD JPY. I'll tell you what, I see a lot of your progress. You're getting this a lot faster than I did. A lot of it. You guys are really rocking and rolling. So this is the 1 hour. This is a 1 hour look, 4 hour look, kind of similar. But here is the look here off of the daily time frame. Okay. Just coming into support. Stochastics in the buy zone. Right? Has resistance becoming future support here. It's testing this level again. We got some green candles. It's trying to make that push, trying to make that U-turn after moving to the downside for so long. Look at that. Yeah, that's turning up. right? That one straight off the B boundary. This one too on the 1. It's a good U-turn. You have the trend line drawn there, right? Look at that break. Right. This was, look, TP1, TP2 off the 80-20. What do we say? When your A gets taken out, flip the fib. See that? Boom. Price is reversed. Okay. So these are the old levels here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to see, based on that higher time frame and it finding the support, it's against the yen. Okay. We got a trend line break. Stochastics in the buy zone. All right. We're just going to leave it as a bullish setup. So I'm going to take these off because this is moving down. And there's a possibility that eventually it could take this A out. All right. Yet to be seen, but we're going to set it up like that because we're moving long. Right. That. Bang. Can I get the smart fib on that? Nope. So I'm going to have to draw it manually like this. 1 hour. So take it from that second touch, straight down, bang, like that. You see, well, we've got this trend line. You get more aggressive with the trend line. Okay. There's that touch. Won't take it too close. So here, just like that. There's the break. Okay. All right. Catch that D extension of AB boundary. See if it wants to continue to drive long. Okay. It's choppy. We see that compared to weekly, but we seem to be trying to find some support here. We're way oversold. So that's why I switched my narrative a little bit. Now, what's going to tell the tale on this daily is, right, we have 1, 2, center candle low. We've got 1. Okay. We need 1 more day. This will be a confirmed low like this from the daily chart. Okay. It kind of gives us a stronger foundation if we can get that second candle to the right, because then we say, you know what, it may bounce a little bit, but we can get that continued move, at least back up to 85.06, right? 85.26 weekly level. So let's see how that plays out. It could be a potential crown. Yeah, right here. Right here in this area. Could break and move up that way. Good eye. That's just good horizontal support and resistance. Right, that's just, look out, see how this is just moving across there like that. That's just saying, hey, I've come into support. It's looking like it's trying to solidify itself. We prepare for it to continue to push long against the yen. It's a possibility. Right? Even like you say, just for a crown of a correction and then a continuation down, we can take advantage of that. So let's see how it plays out. See how it plays out. I am really itching to find out what's going to happen tomorrow with this non-farm payroll, because it has the ability to affect everything across the board. So we'll see, and then we'll talk about it on Saturday. But right now, we got a trend line break to the upside after we've had this correction. I mean, this A boundary taken out. So see what happens. And then we already covered the NZD USD. So that is it. That is all I have for tonight. We covered the euros and the Aussies this morning. Looked at the pounds, couple dollar pairs in your New Zealands tonight. And so we look forward to the non-farm payroll tomorrow to really, really kick off June as we head towards central bank meetings and all that other good stuff this month. So with that being said, any last minute questions before we close out the session?
This was an awesome session, as always. Excuse me. Appreciate all you
Awesome.
give. This just kind of helps me get myself back together. So the energy that you provide, information that's given, I can't even actually adequately put into words. It's priceless. It's everything to me. So thank you. My absence
Oh, you're
doesn't mean I
welcome.
don't love this place. It's just sister needs some help, but I love this group. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
all you give.
Oh, you're welcome. We appreciate the feedback, and we love having you as a member of Inner Circle. We know you're always, if we ain't here, you're in spirit. So we appreciate you, right? And if you need help with things, don't hesitate to reach out to us, right? You can inbox us. You can inbox us. Let us know. So we
Thank you.
appreciate the feedback. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I got a question. Ditto. Thank you. Have a great night. Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate it. All right. So enjoy your day tomorrow, right? It's Friday. Look for that non-farm payroll data. We'll make sure we post the articles once the report comes out. We'll make sure we post it in the Discord, and then we'll look forward to seeing everybody Saturday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. Have a good night, everybody.